What's up? Welcome back to the Black Media Man Cave. In today's video, I'm just going to give quick thoughts and my own personal review on the movie Sinners. I saw it a few days ago, and personally, I thought it was great. So this video is going to be me just giving a quick rundown on the things I liked about the movie, and maybe some things I kind of didn't like about it. First and foremost, if you didn't know already, the movie Sinners is the latest movie from director Ryan Coogler, and it's also another movie where he's teaming up with Michael B. Jordan. This has to be like the 6th film they've done together. I know I've lost track. I know there's the Creed movies, Fruitvale Station, Black Panther, probably one or two that I'm forgetting. If I didn't know any better, I would say that Ryan Coogler is going to use this dude until he dies, and then probably resurrect him with AI or something, just so he could do one more movie with Michael B. Jordan in it. He likes him so much that in Sinners, he's basically using him twice. That's because Michael B. Jordan plays two different characters in the movie, twin brothers Smoke and Stack, collectively known as the Smokestack Twins. And you know what? This technology has really came a long way, because once upon a time, you really couldn't have the same person in the scene twice like this and make it look normal. It used to be real obvious that it was either a green screen or you couldn't touch yourself or be anywhere near your other version. But now in 2025, this movie has Michael B. Jordan not only touching himself, but also hugging himself and cradling himself. And although I know it's some fancy movie magic going on here with another actor, it's still impressive that the effect works well enough to suspend your disbelief. And at no point did it take me out of the movie because I couldn't believe these were two different people. Also, kudos to Michael B. Jordan for effectively playing two different characters with two different personalities. Smoke is the more calculated of the two, and Stack is a little more, shall we say, abrasive. But Jordan plays them different enough, even with two different voices, that you honest to goodness believe it's two different people. Props to that man for that, because I see posts online all the time with people saying that Michael B. Jordan isn't a great actor, and I'm like, really? I always thought he was pretty good. So at least he can point to Sinners and be like, for all you people who think I'm not a good actor, watch Sinners and watch me work. So back to the movie. What's it about? Well, in simple terms, it's a horror movie. Kind of like a gothic horror movie to be precise, but also a vampire horror movie. In the year 1932, brothers Smoke and Stack returned to their hometown and purchased an old sawmill that they plan to turn into a juke joint. But to say things don't go as planned is the understatement of the 30s. Now, when you watch the trailer, it definitely leads with I don't want to say it leads with the best parts because that's not true, but it definitely leads with the horror. And if you're coming to the movie to watch only that, I hope you came to the movie with some patience. The fact that you have to wait on it isn't a bad thing, at least to me. If I have to compare it to any movie, and this is a strong comparison, bordering on straight up homage, I would compare it to Robert Rodriguez's movie From Dusk Till Dawn. There are a lot of similarities between the two movies. The fact that it has two main characters that are brothers, the fact that one of the primary settings is a bar, and the fact that both movies makes you wait for most of the payoff. In fact, back when the movie was released, a few people accused From Dusk Till Dawn of giving away the twist in the trailer. And I guess both Rodriguez and Coogler don't really view the horror elements as twists, because the early parts of both movies are equally as entertaining as the horror and the violence that you came to see. I guess the question still remains, would you have gone to see either movie if you thought there was no horror in it? Regardless of the genre, Sinners has fantastic characters played by excellent actors. The Smokestack Twins are joined by their young cousin named Sammy, who they want to play music at their new club. Sammy is played by Miles Caton in his first and only film, which makes sense because he's primarily known for being a musician in real life. Although I must say that after this movie, the guy has a bright future in film. I gotta say that. He's one of the most important people in the film because his music plays a key part. And without spoiling too much, the way they incorporate music into this movie is very unique and very different in a really good way. Music plays a part into almost every aspect of the film and the character motivations. And I know you're probably thinking, how does it do that? It's not a musical, is it? And no, thankfully, it's not a musical. But I'll just say that music is used in some ways that you probably aren't used to in a movie like this, because the music is even incorporated into the horror elements, something that you don't see that often, at least I haven't. Speaking of the horror elements, that leads me to one of my few dislikes, and that's the villains, or monsters, or whatever you want to call them, which are the vampires. Quite simply put, they're vampires, nothing more, nothing less. I don't really mind vampires, but I wish they did a little bit more to update the tried and true vampire formula. All the classic tropes are here. They hate garlic, they hate sunlight, wooden stakes kill them, all the same old vampire rules are here. And I felt like they could have done more to change what we've already seen or know about vampires, but it breaks no new ground. Or they could have just not used vampires. It feels like they needed a quick and easy villain that could attack people one by one, and they spun a wheel and landed on vampires. In a movie that has a hoodoo practitioner played by Oluwunmi Masaku, it just feels like they could have used some of that Haitian folklore to craft a better antagonist. But like I said, that's minor, and although vampires are somewhat lazy, it still works. While we're on the topic of Wunmi Masaku, she plays Annie, a hoodoo woman and the love interest of Smoke. And I've seen people saying that this movie should be celebrated for bucking the Hollywood norms for black women love interests. And yeah, it should, but Wunmi Masaku has been bucking that trend for a while now. Thankfully, she's never been treated like a second-class citizen when it comes to being a love interest, and I love it. I'm here for it. Stack's love interest is played by Haley Steinfeld, who I know mostly for being the voice of Gwen Stacy in the Spider-Verse movies, and she's one of the few white women in this movie. I think the only white woman with dialogue. Well, let me correct that. Technically, she's not all the way white in the movie, and that explains a lot about how she acts and how she talks, but I won't say no more than that. Delroy Lindo is even in this movie. I haven't seen dude in anything since The Harder They Fall. He's one of my favorite actors, and he shines in this too as an old drunk who can play the hell out of a harmonica. And finally, there's Jamie Lawson, who's the mayor of Gotham City in the Batman movies. She's somebody who ends up at the Brothers Club as a singer, and for another reason that I won't disclose. Most of these characters are introduced very early in the film, which allows us time to get to know them and develop a bond with them. That's why I'm not too upset with the movie being heavily front-loaded with development. Yeah, it could have gotten straight to the action and been non-stop violence, but it would have ruined the narrative in my eyes. I personally enjoyed watching and learning about the history of all the main players and all their dark secrets. That way, when something happens to them, it hits you right in the chest, and you're all like, oh man, not them, I like them. That's how it should be. Nobody should be an afterthought if you write good characters. I also like how, once we get to the juke joint, it feels so alive. Coogler really knows where to put a camera, and the way he films the scenes with hardly any cuts makes it feel like multiple things are happening all at once, which is how it would be in real life. There's a conversation happening over here, there's a fight happening over there, there's somebody making out up there. It's like he's capturing every corner of this building simultaneously. And even though you can't see what everybody is up to at the same time, it somehow feels like you can. It makes more sense when you see it. Everybody here gets just about equal screen time. And that's just about all I can say about it without going into spoiler territory and making this some kind of think piece, which I'm not trying to do. So to wrap it up, Sinners is a great movie to me, just for the cinematography and music alone. I like the interesting characters, I like the setting, and I like how the movie finds a way to interject some racial stuff into it, which is unavoidable for a movie set in the South in the 1920s. But it doesn't beat you over the head with it, instead finding ways to slide it into the horror. There's themes like white passing, integration, and miscegenation, but it's all very subtle and not preachy at all. It even finds a way to give some small commentary on black business ownership. So what are some things that I don't like? Well, I've already said that having vampires as the villains is a little bit lazy, which is unfortunate. And this next issue isn't an issue for me because I love a good story, but I could see some people being turned off that it takes so long to get to the point, so to speak. Like I said, I didn't mind it, but I know others will. I also felt like the finale was a little rushed. When it goes down, I'm like, damn, is this really happening right now? It comes out of nowhere, and once the movie ended, I thought to myself, damn, this movie could have easily been 3 hours, and I would have been fine with that, just to get a little more time with these characters and a more satisfying finale at the juke joint. It doesn't ruin the movie or anything, but the fact that it felt a little rushed kinda goes against everything it built before that. Overall though, you know how I rate modern movies. It's either see it now, see it later, or see it whenever. And Sinners is a definite see it now. Matter of fact, see it right now, because I think it's close to making its budget, and I want to see more black movies like this with different genres and subject matters. Maybe Ryan Coogler will do some sci-fi or something after this, who knows? But anyway, that's my thoughts on the movie Sinners. If you go see it, I hope you enjoy it as much as I did, and until next time, I'll holla at you.